this region to benefit, the ability to buy of every individual in this region will have to be raised to a level. You can't keep these people living on handouts, because that doesn't change their life and doesn't even change anything for you. So it's both ways disadvantageous. And I say, even for those who are good-willing and altruistic in their attitude, want to give food aid and support Africa, they need to know that they're crippling these countries, and a disadvantage to them because they're weakening the potential for markets to emerge from these societies. It's as simple as that.
For the past couple of years, at least, Eritrea has taken basically control over your food situation, and a key measure, I suppose, of being able to do it on your own is food security and being able to feed all the people. How has that been going? I mean, I know you've had a couple of good crops. People are wondering from the outside, maybe it's weather related, and they're still a little bit concerned. What about in the future? Have you developed the infrastructure needed to basically feed your own people? Where do you stand on that now as a country?
It's part of a comprehensive approach. It's not only food security. I mean, food security is one thing, but food security will have to take a number of things into account. I mean, food security cannot be achieved by depending on rain-fed agriculture alone, and that's been a problem. Drought comes, drought goes, famine is here and famine is going there. That's been a problem, and we have, judiciously come to a conclusion where we need to introduce technology and develop the systems of implementing agricultural programs so that we can produce enough, even with very limited resources, erratic rains, all that. And we can't say we have solved the problem altogether. It takes time. It takes time to put in place the infrastructure, introduce technology, select the best crops by introducing the quality seed that survives here. It's a number of things, but that's not all. It's part of a comprehensive program. We have been able to develop a capacity to implement infrastructural projects, roads, dams, and what have you. I mean, developing a capacity to implement programs is another issue. Providing social services, health and education is part of what we call our ability to stand on our 2 feet and be part of bigger whole. So it's not only food security,
sure.
And food security is not an easy task or means to achieve it.
Where are you on that? On what percent, do you feel comfortable, and how many more years before you think you will be able to feed your own people, even not necessarily relying on rain-fed?
It depends on how successful we would be to implement systems that will enable us to produce enough to feed ourselves. And that takes, of course, dams, it's water and soil conservation programs. If we had good rains this year, we need to be able to use this advantage for the next 2-3 years. And it's a matter of putting in place a broad-based or an extensive infrastructure that sustainably would use limited resources of water to produce enough food. It's not only crops, but again, we have a resource on our shores that has not been exploited. We need to exploit that. That definitely requires a capacity to fish and process the catch. Again, we need to look for other resources. Livestock is one thing that is directly linked to our agricultural programs. It's a number of things combined that ultimately will enable us to produce enough in a sustainable manner, not only one good year or good harvest, but sustainable production of food crops, meat and dairy products, including the fisheries industries we have in mind. And I think we have gone a long way, but to definitely say, yes, we have arrived at a point where there is no setback or going back again to the old days, and we can say in a matter of, I wouldn't want to predict the number of years we need to go
Take
through.
a guess.
I could guess about a few years from now. Even now we can say we've enough in terms of food, but we shouldn't be misled by one good rainy season or one good harvest. We have to be very realistic in our assessment, and I believe the coming 2-3 years we will go beyond self-sufficiency in terms of food aid.
Do the people of Eritrea share your commitment to self-reliance and doing it on their own? You're asking a lot of sacrifice from the people right now, and like you, many of them were fought for 30 years for independence, and I think a lot of them expected this was going to be sort of the prosperity, and in a sense now you're saying no, it's not. The struggle isn't over yet. You're still having to struggle a little bit more.
I think it's one good thing in this country is those ordinary people understand it more than myself. It's not an exaggeration. Why? It has a meaning in their lives. What has changed in their living standards and their quality of life is what matters to them. And they see it, they have felt it, they know it better than anyone else. It's not like myself living with a salary from this government. I don't complain about water shortage. I may not complain about food shortage. I have no problems of feeding myself at home. I live well. I have a good house. That's not a measure of what's happening in this country. You go and see and ask any ordinary citizen in very remote areas, and he can tell you the change that has occurred in his quality of life or her quality of life in terms of clean water, health services, education, and even the quality of food he takes. And that is a measure. It's not easy to satisfy everyone's desire for quality life, but you can imagine how many have been affected by the programs introduced by this government over the years. That's where you can measure the successes of this government, and the people will tell. The people will have to tell. They may not have reached the ultimate in terms of their aspirations to change their quality of life, but they can tell the story. No one having a good life with easy means would say things about the change that has occurred, but ordinary people do appreciate what has transpired.
What about the younger generation now? Many people who are doing national service express, maybe who don't remember the struggle and don't have anything to compare it to. What would you say to them, or what's your message to them?
People learn it either the easy way or the hard way. And I say, if you want to learn it the easy way, is to realize where you are and where you're going. Mm-hmm. If you know that and you plan ahead of time and work to put yourself in a situation that really means something to you now and in the future, then you learn it the hard way, because you're thinking, you're using your head to know where you are and where you're going. It's not a matter of history, it's not a matter of what was there a long time ago. But again, if you don't do that, no one can provide you something for free, and you will learn it the hard way. Mm. And you can find easy ways of achieving good life. Good life never is achieved by dreaming or even aspiring for something that is not tangible. You work hard, you realize where you are and where you're going, and do something to make your life better for the future. If you don't do that, life will teach you how you can do that, and that's the hard way of learning life and how you can improve your life. You don't need to prescribe anything for anyone. You simply tell them that this is the way life is, and if you want to have good life, you work harder now, you sacrifice now, If you don't do that, well, you will find yourself in a situation where life will teach you how to work harder and improve your lifestyle. It's not a matter of national service. It's not a matter of the reality we live now. It's not our own making. It's not been our own choice. We never wanted to go this way, but it's been imposed upon us, and we have to survive and live with it. And not only live with it, but look forward to find a place more conducive than where we are now. But for young people of this country, it's not a question of national service or avoiding the national service. That's not the question. You aspire to become someone in this society and have good quality life, you work for that. You don't get it free. If you don't want to work now and want to get it free, you will find time and learn how to do it in the future. It's as simple as that.